It's Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Come
on! Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Round 2 Showdown show here for the Wyndham Championship. Some interesting stuff here. A few really low rounds, some mediocre rounds. Ended up having 67 guys shoot under par today, so there was some scoring out there for sure. Mr. Henley goes out late and nukes the course for a 62. Big news coming into the day as well, as everybody probably knows by now. JBC is now a part of the RPS crew going forward. Really excited for that. We've got a new promo code for that too going on. Each week it's going to knock the discount down a little bit. Right now it's 23% off for life. Any package, all packages, 23% off. NFL 23 is the promo code. Each week, it's going to go down a little bit. I think it goes from 23% down to 20% next week, and then I think down to 15%. But get in now, use that promo code. It's good for life, not just 1 month. So it's the best promo we've ever ran. I don't think we've ever ran a for life promo ever before. So 23% off, NFL 23. Got my guy Drew here with me tonight to help break down round 2. What's going on, Drew? How's round 1 treating you? Do you have any action on these backups in this NFL game?
A little bit, but it was short-lived, I think. There were some late scratches. Didn't go so well. So we'll see if we can sneak in maybe some 4% owned guy that goes for like 20 somehow, and I could win with a donut. So, yeah, not looking great. Just lazy, not paying attention for a preseason game. But yeah, this turn has been pretty interesting. Nice to see Russell Henley, one of the favorites, do well today. Obviously a favorite to win the entire golf tournament, so we'll obviously talk about him here in a second. And it was interesting to see like Stefan Jaeger running hot and then completely fall apart. So, I think there's some really good showdown plays for tomorrow. I posted one in our Discord already. We will eventually get to. He is over par, but I do like the tee time spot, and I do like what I saw from his stats today.
Yeah, definitely. There, with Jaeger, I think he shot 6 under on the front, and then opens the back nine up with a pair of doubles to ruin the mojo for him there. But another guy that we were high on, at least I was. I know AP was high on him too. I think you were high on him as well. Is Billy Ho. Was off to a mediocre at best start. It was 1 over through like 13 holes, but he finishes strong with 4 birdies in his last 5 holes to get to -3 inside that top 20. That was a big for him. He didn't make any putts throughout the round, and then makes 3 putts there on his last 3 holes, which was pretty crazy to see. But I guess he was maybe quote unquote due there. Another guy that's kind of resurgence here from the dead is Webb Simpson, as we'll get into. Any thoughts on these guys before we head into the leaderboard breakdown?
I mean, I'll just say it's Webb Simpson's place, so I'm not sure if he's resurged at all. It could just be he's back at a place that's somehow special to him and magical, and I mean that in the worst possible sense, not the good sense. So, some type of black magic he's got going on around this place. I don't know if you've heard he named his daughter Wyndham.
Oh, did he? I haven't heard that yet.
Did you really? They say it about 10 times on the broadcast every time they show him. If they show him, they mention that somehow. He named a kid. I think this was his first win, if I'm not mistaken. They named his daughter.
I think you're right,
yeah. So no real thoughts. I mean, Billy Horschel, like I said, I think it's just a guy to keep an eye on. Obviously had a really bad stretch there during the first, third of the year. Or middle third of the year. And I think he's starting to figure some stuff out and turn it around. Honestly, he's turned it around quicker than JT has. So, Webb, I don't know if there's really a talking point there. We'll see if he can continue the magic for another 3 days. But he does have the best course history of anybody. And I think this might just be one of those places where course history holds true for one particular player, and that would be Webb Simpson.
Yeah, for sure. We can break this down leaderboard style like we usually do. We'll go. Let's go T5 and up. JT Poston, Adam Scott, Novak, Benny On, Adam Svensson, and Russell Henley are at the top of the leaderboard right now. Another guy with good course history who won this event a few years ago is JT Poston. Was a guy I was kind of on the fence on. I ended up playing him on one of my 3 teams, so he's up there. He won this event 2 years, I think, ago. He had an up and down scorecard today. I mean, he made a lot of points showdown wise. I believe he made 7 birdies, an eagle, and 3 bogeys. So he was making a lot of designs on his scorecard there today. But it was good everywhere across the board. Gained strokes everywhere. I think Poston's fine tomorrow. He's gonna go out early tomorrow too. A lot of these guys are going out early, which is kind of crazy to see. The PM guys do so well, but I was kind of mixed on the round 1 showdown. I had some, because the weather-wise, it looked like it was going to be a little, as the rain came on the afternoon, I thought it might soften things up a little bit. Maybe that's what happened for those guys. They were able to throw darts out there after it rained for a little bit, but all these guys, except for Adam Scott, are going out in the morning tomorrow. What's your favorite looks up here up top?
Yeah, I will say every one of these guys pretty much had kind of the same day. I think every one of them had 7 or 8 birdies. You talked about Poston having the eagle, so like 7 birdies and an eagle, and just had some others in there. But like Benny On, I think, had 8 birdies for the day. I mean, just lit it up. And honestly, everyone in this range played pretty well tee to green from what I'm looking at. Obviously, they made some putts. The worst putting came from, ironically, Poston, Adam Scott, and Svensson out of that group there. But to be fair, I mean, Benny On, I think, played the best tee to green, and he still had 8 birdies out there today. So I'm not sure if I'm really interested in chasing any of these guys. I think there's a lot of good plays on the slate. They're all playing well. So if you have the salary and, you feel like you jam in Benny On at 8,500, there's no harm, no foul there. And obviously pay up for Russell Henley going off early, loves the golf course historically and playing well. I don't have a problem there. But to be fair, I think a lot of these guys grade out pretty well, and I'm just not going to play them. I think they're going to get owned a little bit, and there's some other really good plays. None of these guys are just like home runs. There's no Scheffler up here that I'm just scared to fade. So I'm pretty comfortable fading everybody, to be honest, -5 and better. And if I had to pick one out of this bunch to go play in the morning tomorrow, it would probably be Benny On, and a close second would be Henley. But I just imagine Henley's going to be 35% owned in every single contest. That's the problem for me.
Yeah, I think Henley's a fine option for cash and stuff tomorrow for sure. He was good with the irons. Actually made some putts today as well, so that's always good with Henley if he gets that flat stick going. I've got an outright on him as well, so hopefully he stays up there. I may go to a little bit of Poston. He was good everywhere today. Gained over 2 strokes with the approach. Made some putts as well, and he shows that upside. I like that high birdie upside for showdown. I made an eagle today as well, so both of these par 5s are definitely gettable. I think we'll see some eagles going on throughout the event here. Andrew Novak is a guy that I've kind of been up and down on showdown. He's got a pretty good price tag, $6,900. I think he's fine. Goes out at 7:01 a.m. I think he's fine for a cheapie if you need one there, but. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of guys going down the leaderboard that can definitely score there, too. I don't think Henley's going to shoot 62 definitely tomorrow, but, I mean, he's a guy that can go out there and shoot 65, I think, pretty reasonably. I think he's fine there. Moving down, -4 is a pretty big range here. I think there's about 9 guys here. Aberg's there. He shot well today. I imagine he'll get some ownership tomorrow. He played better on his back 9, which was his front 9. Or the actual front 9 was his back 9. He started on the back 9 today. Played 1 over on his front 9 and then lit it up on the back 9. So I think he's right there in play. He's going out in the afternoon, though. But weather-wise, I don't think there's any advantage to playing either the AM or PM outside of the typical better conditions that we usually see for the AM guys. But I think Aberg's right there. I was interested to see how he was going to do here without his length off the tee. Looks like he was break even off the tee today, though, so it'll be interesting to see how he plays going forward. Vincent Norman's a guy I've been playing a ton of over the last 2-3 weeks, so I think he's definitely there. He had 6 birdies today. That's solid for Norman. He's got that good birdie upside. We saw him win that event a few weeks back at the lower tier event. And he looks from you here. Lucas Glover played well today too, off of the miscut, and he goes out early tomorrow, 7:34 for Glover, with a price tag of $7,500, which is pretty tasty there. What are you seeing here for yourself? -4 guys. Anything that really sticks out to you here?
Yeah, Lucas Glover is my favorite in this range here. And before we continue really quick, I had one more comment on Russell Henley. I thought this was pretty remarkable. So I pull a going for the green proximity for the par fives, and his average proximity for going for the green and 2 on the par fives was 7 feet. 7 feet. And he made one, it was 6 feet, I think, and he missed the other that was like 10 feet. So Henley lit up the par 5. That's pretty good. 6 feet and 10 feet for your two eagle putts on the par 5s. Most of the other people in this range that are good are like 21 feet as an average or 40 feet as an average. 7 feet's just absurd. But continuing on, I think Lucas Glover is my favorite in this range. To be honest, there's a good group at the bottom here that's cheap. That it's kind of a shock to me that they're even this far up the leaderboard. So I'll just wait and see. There's no point in me chasing. Smotherman, I've played him from time to time. He did play really well today, so I'd probably go as low as Smotherman. But there's no way I'm going to go to Kelly Craft, Westmoreland, and certainly not Martin Laird. It's been a bit of hit or miss for him. So I do like Lucas Glover quite a bit. Vincent Norman, I'm right there with you. I've been playing a good bit of him, obviously coming off a win about 2 weeks ago, and playing some good golf. 7,800 feels kind of cheap, to be honest. He played exceptionally well tee to green today, above the field and everything. He's only 2 for 6 inside of 18 feet, 1 for 3 inside of 12 feet. So I do like Norman, and then Glover at 7,500 going off at 7:30 tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're pretty much in lockstep there. Getting down to this -3 range, pretty big range here. I think there's 19 guys here at -3. Some interesting names here. Brendan Todd was kind of a chalkier guy. I played a decent amount of him. He had some really good holes and then 2 bad holes. He made a double on 2 and then bogeyed the last hole on 18 there, but did sprinkle in 6 birdies today, so that's good for the upside there. I'll probably go back to some Todd tomorrow. He's going out in the afternoon, which isn't bad. I mean, that's fine. Webb is the guy there at -3. He's going out in the morning tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see if he can back up that -3 round. Didn't really do much with the irons, but gain putting, gain off the tee. Doug Gim's right there. I don't think I'll go to Gim tomorrow, though. Billy Ho's the guy I'll probably go back to. Didn't hit the irons that good at all today, but I expect him to fire back. He has some better shots down the stretch when he was making those birdies, so the iron play came in a little bit better there. I lost pretty much most of his strokes with the irons, though, on 2 holes there. It looks like hole 2 and hole 3, he lost over a stroke total on those 2 holes, so that's fine with him. Steven Yeager was that guy that showed that big birdie upside coming out, so he's definitely got that upside for tomorrow. He showed that off. 9K should keep some people kind of off him, I think, so I think he'll be a little lower owned. You got Todd there, 7-8, which is a good play. Putnam, Richie Warninski, some cheaper guys there. Your boy Matt Wallace finally shot a decent round. He didn't shoot in the 80s today. That's good for him. I don't know if I'll go there. I mean, he had kind of a wild scorecard there.
He's not my boy. I don't think he's a big fan of me.
No, I know. He burped back at you that one time in the DMs. That was pretty funny. Max McGreevy is a cheapie down here that, I mean, if you want to sprinkle him in, I think he's fine. He's pretty much free, 6,500. Anything really sticking out to you here, -3? I haven't seen this Austin Cook name in a while. He's right there. What's his price tag? $6K flat. Okay. He used to show some upside back in the day. What are you seeing here, -3?
I tell you, the guy that stands out the most. So out of the AM guys, there's really no one that really intrigues me to to target. I mean, I can maybe make an argument for Matty Schmidt at 6,400, but I tell you what kind of sticks out to me is Brent Grant at 6,200. Brent Grant, he may just be a bad putter most weeks. So I think I've talked about him before, making nothing, and I'm not sure he did make anything after that, and certainly didn't make anything today. So shot 3 under. He was 2 under on the par fives. He made nothing on the other approaches that I'm looking at. He must have chipped in somewhere to get to 3 under.
He must have made a long putt, it looks like, on 15 for eagle.
Okay. Then there you go. Then he must have bogeyed or par the other par 5 maybe. So, yeah, I got him at 2 under on the par 5s. But, yeah, he was 0 for 3 on the par 4s and par 3s inside of 12 feet, 0 for 6 inside of 18 feet, 0 for 8 inside of 24 feet, just 0 right across the board. So I'm interested a little bit in Brent Grant. This wouldn't be a perfect fit for him, but like I've been tweeting out, this is a golf course where everyone has to kind of find the exact same path to play this golf course. You can't really overpower it. You just kind of got to play it like everybody else off the tee, and then just hit your irons better and make a few putts. So Brent Grant actually stands out as my favorite, early morning, if you can even call it that, at 9 a.m. The rest of these guys aren't doing it for me. I'm not going to go play Patrick Rogers. I'm not going to play Andrew Putnam. I'm not going to play Webb Simpson tomorrow. There's a few PM guys that I don't mind going to. Scott Stallings stands out quite a bit. I saw him early on the leaderboard this morning, and he looked like he's been playing good. And he seems like a guy that, when he gets some momentum going, he kind of keeps the pedal down. And this honestly feels like a good Scott Stallings golf course. He's really not that long off the tee. He actually averaged 15 yards under the field average today, which is kind of bad in a sense, I guess. But he did hit a lot of good close shots. He was 3 for 6 inside of 12 feet. So I like Scott Stallings. And then Brendan Todd is fine at 1238. I don't mind that. I feel like this is also a nice Brendan Todd course. But yeah, not a great range for me that at least stands out for guys that I've want to play or I'm afraid of playing. Like Sam Ryder's always hit or miss. Hadley seems to like this place, so I get it. But there's really no one else in here besides Scott Stallings, Brendan Todd, and I'm going to take a little chance on Brent Grant down there at 6,200. He's cheap enough. We could get weird with some lineups.
Yeah, I like that call for sure. I'll sprinkle him in some for sure for a cheapie down there, -3. -2 range, we've got about 16 guys here, -2 under through this first round. Some names here. Shane Lowry's down here. Nikolai Hogard. I played a little bit of Harry Higgs actually in my 20 max, only on 1 or 2 teams, but he's there. Cameron Davis, I had him sprinkled in a little bit for an expensive guy. And then Kevin Strillman's coming off the big week. He was playing really well today until down the stretch. He gave away 2 strokes, bogeyed 2 of his last 3 holes. So he was right there at 4 under for a while inside the top 10. But then he gave those back. Justin Sue's right there. Callum Tarrant, Brandon Wu, Dylon Wu, a couple of Woos there. What are you seeing here, -2? Alex Smalley's there too. I had some Smalley in my pool this week. Some pretty good guys here.
Yeah, the best play in this range is Alex Smalley. Alex Smalley tomorrow, 8:30. This is his place. He honestly didn't drive it as well as he should have and could have, but he still hit his irons extremely well. He had 43% of his approaches inside of 12 feet, which is phenomenal. 56% inside of 18 feet. He made a few putts, but not a ton. 3 for 7 inside of 12 feet, and played the par 5s only at 1 under par. So, he played the par 5s bad from where he drove it. I have him hitting both fairways, averaging 328 off the tee, and he only shot 1 under on the par 5. So I don't know what happened on one of them. Smalley's the best play in this range for sure for me. I don't mind a little bit of Callum Tarrant, like you mentioned. He is in the PM. I'm not going to play any Justin Suh. And as far as other AM guys, I don't think Cam Davis is okay at 8,600. If you want to kind of go a balanced approach, it's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, Alex Smalley is by far my favorite in this range. And I guess you can make an argument to play Tarrant or Davis Thompson in the PM. That's probably it for me.
Yeah, for sure. Like
I mean, the Woos are okay as well. I guess I would, if I had to side, it would be Brandon Wu over Dylan Wu. That would be my pick. But yeah, when I look at this range, it's very evident that Alex Smalley is the option to target tomorrow.
Yeah, I like Smalley as well too. He grades out really well stats wise for what I'm looking at. Like you were saying, he lost 1.7 strokes putting, gained over 2 strokes approach, gained off the tee around the green. So I think he's fine there. -1 guys, we've got 17 guys here at -1. Sammy Burns, Eric Cole, Bezadenhout, Garrick Higo. Some of our guys are down here. Taylor Moore was an upside guy I liked for tournaments this week. He was terrible off the tee today, mainly just off one tee shot there on 17. He lost over 2 strokes on that one tee shot. But aside from that, he was good. He showed some good upside there with 4 birdies. Made that double, though, on that hole. Zach Blair's here. Sung J M's down here. Some expensive guys that are down here. Anything really sticking off to you off the pages here? Just looking like stats-wise. It's probably Sung Jae if you're looking stats-wise. Lost a stroke putting, gained a stroke approach. Anything stick out to you down here?
I'm looking at, let's see. Yeah, I have Moore driving it a little bit worse than just the one tee shot, and it may just be slightly negative, but yeah, I had Moore. He only gained on 50% of his tee shot. So even if he had one really bad tee shot, I have him kind of bad for the majority of his tee shots.
Yeah, it looks like he only hit 5 fairways today out of 14. So that's
I have
good.
his accuracy down quite a bit, which is not good when you're only hitting at 285 off the tee or 275 off the tee. He still hit his irons decent, so I don't hate that. He is going off in the PM, so it probably wouldn't be like one of my favorite targets. And I honestly wasn't super high on him. I know the industry kind of liked Taylor Moore for this event. I was a little bit different, so I wasn't super excited to play Taylor Moore. Let's see, as far as like AM guys, and I'll just kind of focus on AM guys first. I don't think anybody stands out. Even Bezaden, who doesn't really do it for me. What's interesting is a guy, and I'll just throw this out there if someone wants to dabble and gamble a little bit. There's a guy that's been popping for me quite a bit for like the last month and a half. I don't think his results are even very good. And he's won me a lot of money in the past, but he shows up again right now. And I think I'm just going to play a little bit in Showdown, maybe not even play him, for the rest of the fall swing outside of a few events. It's just a terrible name to say. I feel like I'll be shunned, but Charlie Hoffman, his irons have been unreal. Even for the last 2 months, his driver has been terrible. It was terrible today, but he had 6 shots inside of 12 feet, which is up there as far as like the top 5 in approaches. So he goes off at 206. So again, not like a guy that I would fit in, and he's kind of expensive, but I just wanted to throw that out there that he's been showing up a lot, and I've been hesitant to click his name. He hasn't really burned me yet, but as he keeps showing up, I'm getting more and more tempted to go and click Charlie Hoffman, whether it's in Showdown or, going over to California during the fall swing or something. So just throwing that out there as when he does win or finish in the top 5. I mentioned him at some point in the past, and I can count that as a tout win. So, there's really not a lot in here, Snyder. I don't like any of the AM guys. The PM guys aren't people that I've really been playing a lot of. Like the ones that look the best just off of today is like Carl Yuan, Cameron Percy. I'm not going to play any of them. So I'm going to say, I'll say Taylor Moore's fine or Eric Cole, but I think as a whole range, I'm just going to pass. It's not really there's no one in here that stands out to me that looks super, super interesting. I guess Bezadenhout, just because he goes off in the AM, that would probably be the guy. Bezadenhout at 6,800. So I'll defer to Bez at 6,800 as an AM guy.
That's a good price tag on him at 6,800.
It is actually, yeah. I could see him being 7,700, and I wouldn't really feel shocked about it, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm slightly shocked to see him at 6,800 because he's been 8K before in field.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know he hasn't been great, but there's guys that have been as bad or close to as bad, and they're still up there at 7,800. So not really sure what's going on there, but yeah, I think the more I look at it, I think Bezadenhout's interesting. He actually gained off the tee was pretty solid. He hit a lot of fairways. And if I go out a little bit further, he still hit a lot of shots inside of like 30 feet, which, like we talked about in the past, they could certainly slide that a little bit closer over round. So you take he's got 9 shots inside of 30 feet. Now all of a sudden he's got 9 shots inside of 24 feet, maybe 9 shots inside of 18 feet. Now we're looking at something here. So yeah, actually, the more I look at it, I think Bezain, who 6,800 is a nice little salary saver.
Yeah, for sure. And I will say one thing about old Chucky Hoffman there. He did end really well today. Carried over that good mojo. 3 birdies in his last 4 holes. So that's some good mojo for him going into the next day tomorrow. So, I think he's fine for tournaments and such. And then we kind of dive into a pretty big range here. About 24 guys here at even par. Right around where that cut line is projected to be now. I think the cut will probably be right around -2 tomorrow or so. I think maybe even 3, depending if the weather conditions are that good. But some of these guys are gonna have to go low tomorrow if they want to make the cut. Our guy JT is down here. Justin Thomas shot even par today, so I guess baby steps. He didn't shoot over par today, so that's good for him. Nick Hardy's always got some pretty good upside. Our guy Jim Herman's down here, 3 birdies, 3 bogeys. I did not play any Jim Herman this week. I don't think I'm going to go there.
I couldn't do it. I tried, and I just didn't have – I had, A, if Jeff's listening, I didn't have enough conviction. He just didn't sell me enough. And B, it left so much salary that I just couldn't play Hideki, and I couldn't play some of those guys.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'm not going to leave $1,800 on the table. I'm going to go all the way down, go back up to the mid-7s and play someone like, I don't know, Eric Cole, who sucks too. So it traded off hand in hand. But, no Jim Herman for me as well. I don't know if you had other guys in there. I will say really quick, the 2 guys that stand out the most to me in this range, and they are going off in the PM, is Trey Mullinax and Troy Merritt. And I think those were 2 guys that we talked about on the full week show. They look pretty good today. They are going off in the PM. Again, there wasn't a huge PM split today, and there's not going to be any weather difference really for tomorrow anyways, so I'm not really concerned about that. As far as AM guys, really quick, I have to go back to Siwoo Kim. At even par, he's got a little bit to do to make it across the cut line, but his irons were decent. They weren't terrible. They weren't phenomenal, but obviously, he likes to golf course. He's only 9,100, so I have enough salary savings I can get to him going off early. Siwoo Kim, give me 500 par, 600 par, and I'll be happy. Aaron Rye is okay, and that's probably it. I don't really like Ben Griffin or Nick Lindheim either, even though he's been playing good on the Korn Ferry Tour. But yeah, Siwoo Kim's just a nice spin-up option, and 9,100 doesn't break the bank. And then Troy Merritt and Trey Mullinax stand out quite a bit.
They're good stats plays.
They are. And honestly, Mullinax was popping up for me a little bit this week. And I think we talked about him last week on the Showdown show, one of the shows at least. So he's actually been in decent form and showing some stats for at least a week. And then same with Troy Merritt. I think Troy Merritt, if he can get the putter going, he was like 1 for 5 inside of 12 feet today. Just make something, man. He had 62% of his shots inside of 24 feet, which is pretty good. And that's the same for Trey Mullinax. So that's the reason why I would play those 2 guys. Not necessarily together, but definitely in play. And then, Siwoo Kim, the more I look at it, he's probably my favorite spinned up that will be lower owned than like a Russell Henley or a Binion, et cetera.
Yeah, I like that Siwoo call. He had an atrocious day putting today, almost lost 3 strokes putting. Gained everywhere else, though. Yeah, the irons are fine. I think he's fine there for a spend up. I may go to Ben Griffin. I don't know if I'll go back to Ben Griffin or not tomorrow. What's his price? 7,300. He's fine. He goes out super early tomorrow. I think he's fine, yeah. I'll probably have him in the pool for like 20 max or something. He was a soldier, so maybe he'll battle through for the cut line like he did last week. He fired a low round 2 and then ended up finishing top 20 last week, so maybe he can carbon copy that. Kind of diving into this +1 range. And we got our guy Hideki down here. He's a higher price guy. I don't think either of us played him, but
no.
The spend ups down here.
I don't mind playing him tomorrow though. He doesn't check. I mean, he doesn't pop a lot. It looks like he gained a decent number of strokes off the tee and approach, but when I look at his proximities, nothing's like crazy Hideki level proximity numbers. He only had 5 shots inside of 12 feet. And like I said, I mean, Troy Merritt had as many as that inside of 12 feet. So he is going off in the morning. And of all the people, that's an easy pivot for me. Play Hideki over Russell Henley. I think Hideki has just as low round as anybody in the field. And I loved him last week. I watched him all the way through the weekend. I know he had a rough finish. But, man, the dude's been really good with his irons. And this golf course is all about the irons and just making some putts. So I think the problem for him is making the putts. But he's done a stick it in there close. I like Hideki quite a bit. And he actually got a price decrease, if I'm not mistaken, to 10-4. Denny, I'm not really super excited. I assume he gets a little bit of ownership just on a bounce back and at the price. Yeah, someone commented about that. So I'm not super excited about that one. And then honestly, everyone in this range is super cheap. And I don't think I need the salary. There's really no one that stands out for me. I mean, if I just threw out a name that stands out the most, it would be Ches Reavie and then Ryan Armour. And I'm not going to play either of them. So, yeah, I think it's Hideki or bust for me in this range.
Yeah, I've got Denny on my main lineup, so I don't think I'll probably be doubling down on him tomorrow. But he'll probably definitely be chalky tomorrow. He goes out in the morning. 9,200 is a kind of a steeper price tag. I think his price tag went up by about 500 from the main slate.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's just all ownership. I mean, we talked about that before. The DK algorithm for pricing incorporates ownership, and if it gets someone's overowned, they bump them up, and he got overowned. So it's likely he's not going to be that high owned, obviously, tomorrow, but he'll still get a nice chunk of ownership, I'm sure. But Hideki should be, with him being a decrease in price, I imagine he gets just as much ownership as he had today, if not less. And that's the reason why I would go to him over Henley. Yeah, definitely.
Not much else for me in this range. So I think I'm going to pretty much be off of all these guys except for Hideki. If I go to him,
it's ugly. It's ugly. And to be honest, there's so many cheap guys in this range that were cheap going into the week. So they didn't really have much weight anyways to play them. So they didn't show anything today. There's no real reason to chase, a 6K guy that didn't show anything after the start of the week. So I'm sure that'll be the talking point here in just another minute for the next range, next couple ranges. But there is one guy definitely in the minus or the plus twos that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. I tossed in the Discord and quite a bit. But yeah, just speaking in general sense, I mean, if the guys are cheap and you probably didn't like them for the full week and they, play one round, doesn't really check any boxes stats wise, there's no reason to, sweat over playing those guys. Just X them out, move along with your day.
Yeah, for sure. I generally don't like to play that many people kind of down the leaderboard rounds 2.
Unless they're studs. Like I said, unless they're studs. If it's John Rahm, he shot +5. There's no harm in playing John Rahm. Or Scheffler, if he shot +3 or something like that. It's just a different thing for a 10K guy shooting over par versus, Jason Duffner. Shout out Jeff again. Jason Duffner shooting +1. I mean, he was 6,200 to start the week off. You weren't going to play him. He shot 1 over today. Why would you go play him today if you didn't play him for the full week? It doesn't make sense. Right. But yeah, Rahm, Scheffler, Cameron Smith or somebody, if it was a major, those are the guys that you chase that shoot over par. And maybe that doesn't check the box for the guy I'm about to mention, but it checks the box for me in my mind.
But I think we're going to get into that guy you're talking about who did make a birdie early. He just ran into just a horrible stretch there as he was making the turn, made 5 bogeys in 6 holes. Did end well, though. He made a couple birdies coming in, which kind of rid the ship a little bit. Lost nearly 4 strokes putting, lost another one around the green. But it was good approach off the tee. Your guy, Mark Hubbard, right there. I think he's fine. He was a soldier for me, too, so hopefully he can battle through for the cut line for us tomorrow. I'm on him with you there. Other guys down here, I'm not going to really force anything else down here, I don't think, really. I mean, you could go to Tyson Alexander if you want for a cheapie, but he's got good birdie upside. I just don't think you need to force that. Or anywhere else, really, down here. Carson Young, I finally jumped off him this week. Kind of glad I did. He shot 2 over today. I won't be going back to him. I think you can look at Kevin Yu, though. He lost over 4 strokes putting today, which is a pretty big number. You usually don't see those numbers in the 4s too often. Made a double bogey on 12, which he must have. I had to have had like 4 putts on that hole. He lost about 2 strokes putting on that hole alone. Not too much else down here for me. Noren, if you want to go there, he was kind of a main slate guy that had a little bit of ownership. Nothing too great for me, though. I do like Mark Hubbard here. Like, you're going to talk him up here a little bit more. Anything else besides Hubbard you like here, +2?
I do. Yeah, there's one other guy that I'll talk about in just a second. I don't know if they're playing together or they're at the same tee time, so you might be able to get a hint right off of that. But, yeah, Mark Hubbard, 650. Again, lost like almost 4 strokes putting. And, again, I'm not a guy that's going to say, always play the putting splits and count on regression. I just look at opportunities and imagine them making a couple more, and it changes their entire day. It changes their entire score, it changes their ownership for the next day. And Mark Hubbard is that guy. Extremely consistent off the tee and on approaches today. Again, a guy that probably checked a lot of boxes for the full week slate anyways. And they're just kind of rattling off a couple stats for him. He had 6 shots inside of 12 feet. He made 1 of them. Going back out further, he had 8 shots inside of 18 feet. He only made 1 inside of 12 feet, essentially. He's basically made 1 putt all day inside of 12 feet. Our irons, again, were really good, just made nothing. So, yeah, Hubbard's going to be a core play for me at 7,600. +2, I don't care. Gained on 80% of his tee shots, 63% of his approaches, just so consistent. Now, the GPP play down here, that's going to be a little bit, not a little bit, maybe a lot more off the radar. That the more I look at it, I feel like it's just going to happen, and I'm just trying to will it to happen, is Doc Redman at 7K. Doc Redman, if you look at his like proximity numbers, nothing great. Doesn't check a ton of boxes for me as far as like comparing to a Mark Hubbard, will say. He had 7 shots inside of 24 feet compared to the 6 inside of 12 feet for Mark Hubbard. So you can see there's a pretty big discrepancy there. But he did gain on 93% of his tee shots and 56% of his approaches. He hit more greens in the field, more fairways in the field. I think Doc Redman is set up for a good round. If he can make a few putts, he can just go hot. He might still finish 50th in the tournament. That's assuming he shoots 600 or 700 tomorrow, obviously, and making the cut. But, yeah, Redman at 7K is a GPP winning play for me tomorrow. Hubbard would be a core play. Redman in the big GPP or any big field GPPs, I love it. I think he's the guy that will ship you a tournament. Obviously, you got to get 5 other guys right. But, yeah, I really do like Redman to go low tomorrow.
Yeah, I like that play for sure. Anything else down the leaderboard, or we can just group the rest of these guys into one pool here?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, there's nobody. I think Chris Kirk is fine to go back to. He goes off early. I don't mind going back to Chris Kirk. No issue there. He's 8,300. Honestly, he's cheap, and he could shoot. He could shoot 400 or 500 tomorrow.
Yeah, still
not make the cut, but be pretty solid for Showdown. So I do like. Chris Kirk is okay. He's just further down the list. He would not make like a 3-max team. I don't think there's anybody else in this range. What's that?
It's kind of wild that he didn't make a single birdie today, Chris Kirk. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, putted bad. Off the tee was bad. For a guy that's known for his accuracy or playing the Honda well, where obviously driving precision is very important. Yeah, he was way under the field in driving accuracy. I don't know what the actual total was of fairways hit, but I have him at 33% below the field average. So I don't know what he had, 5 fairways or something, 4 fairways.
He hits 5 fairways. Yeah,
5 fairways. Yeah, so pretty terrible. He was terrible across the board. So again, that's why I said I would look at him as a bounce back, but he would be further down than a 3-max lineup build. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone in here. I have enough of Adam Hadwin. I'm sick of him anyway. So no Adam Hadwin, and everyone else down there has just been mediocre. There's a few guys that look like they hit it well, but there's no reason for me to go chasing a $6,200, Nico Echevarria to buoy some lineups. I got plenty of other good plays. So yeah, I think I'm good with all that.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything down here. No, I'm not gonna get to anything.
It's just not really worth it. Again, If JT shot 80, maybe you play JT, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to force any of these guys in. I'd rather play the guys up there that are actually playing a little better, coming in with better form and then played better today. But I think that pretty much well covers it here. Hit the like, subscribe, really helps bring this show to you guys free of charge. We've got NFL content starting to come out. Today we had the Hall of Fame game. We've got that new promo code, 23% off for life, any package, all packages, including SaberSim, I believe. NFL 23 is the promo code. Join the movement. We got JBC over here now. We got Bryce, Certain Shlong as well to join the team. We've got some more surprises coming up too. As the NFL starts to get closer, we're going to start unveiling more. There's some updates coming for SaberSim as well, which is going to be an absolute game changer once we get into the NFL season. But I think we can close this out by doing our usual show core here. You want to do two guys we both like then, and like we did last time? Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that. Are you cool with Hubbard as our first guy in?
Yeah, we can do it.
Is that all right? +2, people get stingy on +2, but man, +2, you can shoot -6 just as easily as +2.
You want to go with Glover for our second guy then at 7,500?
Yeah, that's fine. He's a nice little filler.
Not early, yeah. I like him for a cheaper tier. And then you can go for your guy here then, and I'll finish her out.
Yeah, I'll take I'll probably take your guy, unfortunately, but Alex Smalley, 8,400. He's an easy click.
Solid.
He's an easy click.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go. We find. I was gonna go with.
You know, your boy Poston. Is that your guy?
I could go there. I was looking a little bit down the leaderboard, a little bit.
Who was down?
I think I'm going to go with Billy Horschel. I'm going to keep riding with him.
All right,
He ended this round really well today. He's got some good mojo going into tomorrow. The weather is going to be good all throughout the day. I don't see any differences aside from the softer greens slightly in the morning. 7,700 is a good price tag for him for his upside here, I think. Any final thoughts for you then as we kind of round this thing out?
No, that leaves a nice healthy amount of salary, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you can go wherever you want then.
Yeah, I just built out a lineup that I like pretty good, and it left I don't even have to play Redmond now. Yeah. Last two spots I think are like $9,100 on average, so pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, no final thoughts. It'll be it should be a fun little cut sweat. Should be a higher 6 of 6 than last week, obviously, but yeah, it looks like a pretty good slate. And I think I feel a little bit more settled on these guys playing tomorrow than I did last week. So we'll see how it turns out. And yeah, just like you said, really, really cool things that are happening. I mean, I'm happy Tony brought me on and really cool to see him continue to grow and expand the coordinators and adding JVC, obviously a very skilled and well-established player. So very cool to pick his brain in the Discord. So yeah, that's it for me, Snyder. I think we're all set, and I think we got some good vibes for tomorrow.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. Thanks a lot for watching this show as always. We appreciate it. Hit the like on the way out. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe. We'll be notified of all the shows coming forward. Big things coming. We appreciate it as always, and always run pure.